Halo, aman-aman. Oke, operator sudah siap? Operator, oke. Aman ya? Boleh turn on your camera, please? Kata operatornya sudah aman. Oke, good afternoon, everyone. Uh, First thing first, sorry ya kalau my voice isn't clear because I got flu for 7 days until now. Uh, it's very uncomfortable, but I try my best, yeah, to keep this show going. Yeah, okay. Uh, Before we start, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Anggita Lestari, and I will be serving as your moderator for this season. It's a really great honor to welcome you all to the International Conference on Interdisciplinarity for Sustainable Development, or INTERDIS 2025, then organized by APTISI Commissariat 6B in collaboration with UNIBI. And then we truly appreciate your presence today and hope this season will be insightful and engaging for everyone. Okay. Okay, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, I would like to briefly introduce our distinguished speaker for this season. I will read it. The first is Albi Nugraha. The title is The Influence of Fraud Hexagon Theory on the Potential for Fraudulent in Financial Reporting in Financial Sector Companies List on the Indonesia Stock Exchange for the 2018 until 2022 period. Second is Anissa Nailah Balkis. Title is The Influence of Cycle Works Environment and Workload on Job Satisfaction. The third is Siti Jasmine Azahra Aulia. The title of the research is The Influence of Tax Policy, Profitability, and Company Size on Capital Structure Case Study on Transportation Industry Companies in the Passenger Line and Airline Sector List on the Indonesia Stock Exchange for the 2019 until 2024 period. The fourth is Rizky Firmansyah. The title is Designing an Educational Board Game about the Beauty of Temple on Java Island for children aged 10 until 15 years in Bandung City. That is correct? Correct? Okay. Okay, before the presentation begin, I kindly remind all participants to maintain order and keep microphone mute during the presentation. And second, post your question in the chat box or use the raise hand feature. The third is participate actively during the Q&A session after each presentation. Your cooperation will ensure a smooth and productive season. Okay, without any further ado, let's get started. I kindly please to invite the first one is Albi Nugraha. Albi Nugraha to present their topic. Title is The Influence of Fraud Hexagon Theory on the Potential for Fraudulent Financial Reporting in Financial Sector Company List on the Indonesia Stock Exchange for the 2018 until 2022 period. Okay, correct. The presentation will last approximately 10 minutes followed by a Q&A session with a maximum of 2 questions or 5 minutes. Okay, Albi, the floor is yours. Yeah, go
Yes.
ahead, operator.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Albin Nugraha from the Counting Program at UNIV. Today I will present my research title is The Influence of Fraud Hexagon Theory on the Potential for Fraudulent Financial Reporting in Financial Sector Companies listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange for the 2018 until 2022 period. This study was motivated by a fraud phenomenon that that I found interesting. According to ICPE, fraud is an intentional illegal acts to gain personal or group advantage, often done by manipulating financial statements. ICPE report that asset misappropriation is the most common type of fraud. However, the most financial damaging type is fraudulent financial reporting, which causes average losses of around $782,000, even though it happens less often. This how you this show used to us something important. The frequency of fraud doesn't always reflect the level of loss. Even rare fraud, like those in financial reporting, can cause huge damage. That's why I asked the fraud hexagon theory explore this issue future. This theory was introduced by George in 2019 and explained that fraud can be detected through six factors. The first is stimulus, and then capability, collusion, opportunity, rationalization, and age. I always support my analysis using agency theory, which said that manager might not always reporting honestly, and attribution theory, which explains how people decisions are influenced by internal and external pressure. The focus of my research in on 13 financial sector companies listed on the Indonesian Stock Exchange using 115 annual financial report from 2018 until 2022. Then I analyzed the data using AVIUS with final regression and selected the best model using Chow, Hausman, and Lagrange tests. The random effect model was chosen as the most appropriate. This is the result of the regression equation based on the random effect model. Then the results show that four variables has a significant effect on the fraud potential. The first is financial stability, lower stability meaning higher fraud risk, and then change of director. Fewer change can increase fraud, and then change in auditor, less rotation, increases fraud, and then frequent appearance of the CEO picture or photos. Surprisingly, this is also increases fraud potential. And then two other variable government project involvement and industry type were not significant in this study. The regression model explaining 97.9% of the variable in fraud potential, which shows strong prediction power in hard internal company picture, especially financial and leadership expected really matter when it comes to fraud. As, as a recommendation, companies should strengthen internal control and assurance that governance to reduce fraud risk. For future researchers, I suggest expanding the scope and adding more variables for different insights. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, Abi, it's about fraud, right? Fraud is really terrible thing in financial section in Indonesia, right? Abi, it's a great presentation and research. Okay, uh, we'll move to Q&A. Yeah, ready? Abi,
Okay,
we have
Miss.
a question coming in from chat box. I will read it. You can write it. I'll be the question I tell to you. You can write it, right? Okay.
Okay.
What is motivate you to explore the issue of financial statement fraud through the lens of the hexagon theory? Is that clear?
Yes.
Is that
I'm
clear?
answer.
What
Yes.
Okay, what motivate you to explore the issue of financial statement fraud through the lens of the hexagon theory? Okay, ready, Abi, to answer it?
Okay, I'm ready,
Okay,
Miss.
okay,
Okay, thank you for your question. I'm interested in discuss financial statement fraud using the hexagon theory because it provides a more comprehensive framework compared to previous models like the fraud triangle or fraud diamond. The hexagon theory considers six elements that can explain fraudulent behavior in more holistic way, including factors as arrogance and collusion, which are often overlooked. By applying this theory, I'm planning to gain deeper insight into the motivation behind fraud and highlight its relevance in improving corporate governance and financial reporting quality. It's my answer, Miss. Thank you.
okay, Abi. So the hexagon theory, it's maybe it's comprehensive to answer your research. Is that right?
Yes.
Because behavior of the fraud it's uh making us I literally work uh how many years ago I worked at bank, and that's many fraud uh that behavior fraud it's really killing the bank itself. And it's amazing you do some research of fraud. Thank you, Albi. Nice answer.
Yes. Thank you so
Okay,
much, Miss
guys.
Miss Anggita.
Okay, you're welcome. Let's continue. Yeah, let's continue to the second presenter is Anissa Nailah Balkis. Anissa, okay. The research is about the influence of psycho work environment and workload on job satisfaction. Is that correct? Okay, operator, let's begin. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable examiner, respected lecturer, and distinguished participant. I am Anisha Nela Balkis, a student of the Management Study Program at Informatica and Business Indonesia University. It is an honor to present my research proposal and a title, The Influence of Physical Work Environment and Workload on Job Certification. This is a background of is human research are asset that play a very important role for company, no matter how sophisticated and technology is. If it is not handled by qualified human research, it will not be able to function optimally. Employee job certification an important factor to consider because job certification can motivate employee to give their best to the company. In Indonesia, uh, various surveys show the employee job certification level are quite high. One of which is the worker certification data released by PwC in 2024. Most Indonesian workers say they are satisfied with their jobs, however, expect such opportunities for advancement, working condition, and workload remain challenged. From this data, it can be seen the employee absenteeism is high. The highest percentage occurred in September at 19%, according to FLIFO classification of absenteeism in Suryadinata Widiani and Sri Prabhasa 2022. Absenteeism of 0 to 2% is considered acceptable. 3% to 10% is considered high, and above 10% is considered abnormal and requires managerial attention. And based on PTXJ to over-retention data for the 2022 to 2024 period, there are significant and worrying upward trend in 2022. The number of employees who experienced turnover was 20 people with a percentage of 23%. This number then distributed in 2023 to 10 employee or 17%, but surged again in 2024 to 15 employees, representing 28%. According to Cahyaningrum 2018, turnover retention exceeding 10% reflection serious issue in the work environment, including workload and dissatisfaction. Consistent turnover rate above 10% and high employee absenteeism can indicate employee dissatisfaction. Based on the result of preliminary survey for PT employee, it appears the most respondents are dissatisfied with their job, particularly in terms of their desire to remain with the company and their perfection of career opportunity. This indicates the job certification remain important issue the require further study. And there are physical work environment in PT the meeting room is directly facing the street with large windows without soundproofing, create direct exposure to traffic noise, which can cause disruption during discussion and reduce the quality of communication during activity. And second pictures, wooden walls, they are not soundproofing, can cause audio leak from important discussion outside the room, or voice noise from outside can disrupt the meeting. Based on the result of preliminary survey conduction on physical working condition, it appears that there are still several aspects that do not fully support employee comfort and productivity. Based on the number of employees working overtime during the period May 2024 to May 2025, the highest number of overtime hours occurred in December with 16,100 employees. This number gradually discouraged and encouraged again May with 324 employees working overtime. The preliminary survey results. So the most respondents feel pressure when completing work target with the deadlines. And respondents agree they often face difficult in achieving work target. And problem statement is one, what is the general perception of employee regarding the physical work environment, workload, and job certification at PTXYZ? How much doesn't the physical work environment affect a job certification among employees at PTXYZ? How much does workload affect employee job certification at PTXYZ? And for how much do the physical work environment and workload affect employee job certification at PTXYZ? Research object is based on the describe of the problem. The author has a goal to be safe in the study, namely to determine one of a few of the physical work environment, workload, and job certification among employees at PTXYZ. Two, how much does the physical work environment affect employee job certification at PTXYZ? And three, how much does workload affect employee job certification at PTXYZ? Therefore, how much do the work environment and workload affect job certification at PTXYZ? The research outline is management, organizational behavior, human resource management, physical work environment, workload, and job certification. Research paradigm is hypothesis one. The physical work environment has beneficial effect on job certification. Hypothesis 2 is workload beneficial affect job certification. Hypothesis 3 is physical work environment and workload simultaneously affect job certification. And formulation of hypothesis is based on the research paradigm. The author used the following hypothesis formulation. Hypothesis 1 is physical work environment has significant effect on employee job certification. Hypothesis 2, workload has a significant effect on employee job certification. Hypothesis 3 is physical work environment and workload have significant effect on employee job certification. Research method is the research method used in the study is to use quantitative method, and population the research in the research is the target population of the research is PTXYZ employees with a total of 45 employees, and sample the research use non-probability sampling technique using the sample sampling method or saturated sampling. Data collection technique in the research questionnaire, observation, interview, and literature study. Instrument testing technique is validity test and reliability test. Data testing technique is classic assumption test, multiple linear regression coefficient, correlation coefficient, coefficient of determination. Hypothesis testing is test the or partial, if test or simultaneous. That's all for me, and thank you. And next is a question and answer session. The question is, what is the impact if our research on the influence of the physical work environment and workload on employee job certification? Researching the influence of the physical work
Operator, can you
environment
take
and
down the
workload.
video? Okay, thank you. Anissa, you have such a good research. It's really relevant for all of you after graduate from Unibi, right? It's really interesting because the physical work and workload, it's really had an effect, a significant effect, right, Anissa? It's really interesting. Okay, let's see the questions. I will read it for Anissa. Are you ready, Anissa?
Yeah, ready.
Okay, you can also write the questions. The question is, what is the impact of your research on the influence of the physical work environment and workload on employee job satisfaction? What is the impact? The significant if impact. Yes, please, Anissa.
Yes, research the influence of the physical work environment and workload employee job certification had important impact of managerial decision making. The result of the study can be used as a basic companies to improve working condition, regulate workloads more proportional, and improve employee welfare. The ultimate impact is in the job satisfaction, productivity, employee loyalty, and reduce turnover. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, nice. It's really had a high impact, right? The environment of work, it's really impact for all of your job. Maybe motivation and loyalty for the company, right, Anissa?
Yes.
Okay, nice, good job. Okay, let's continue the presentation for the third presenter is Siti Jasmine Azahra Aulia. The research is talk about the influence of tax policy, profitability, and company size on capital structure. Case study on transportation industry companies in the passenger line and airline sector list on the Indonesian Stock Exchange for the 2019 until 2024 period. Oke, Siti ya, operator.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Please.
wabarakatuh. Thank you for attention. My name is Siti Jasmine Aulia. Today presentation focus on the influence of the tax policy, profitability, and company size on capital structure. Case study on transportation industry companies in the passenger line and airline sector list on the Indonesia Stock Exchange for the 2019 to 2024 period. Topic number 1 is introduction. Graphic number 1 is average debt to equity ratio for the period 2019 to 2024. Show that in the past 5 years, PT Garuda Indonesia atau GI or GIA experienced a significant increase in its debt to equity ratio, reaching 5.19, far above the industry standard of 1.90 to 2. In the case, PT Garuda Indonesia relies heavily on the debt to finance its operation and investment. Conversely, PT AirAsia Indonesia or CMPP record a significant decline to negative 2.05, indicating that the company is insolvent. A negative debt to equity ratio suggests a negative equity, which occurs when a company's total liabilities exceed its total asset or when accumulate loss have already paid in capital. And then this is tabel average corporate income tax 2019 to 2024 period. On tax policy and transportation sector, or passenger line and airlines industry, show that several companies enjoy tax benefits without paying them the government. This is due to insufficient profit or sustained loss. Research by Khan and Noriana 20 and 23 reveals the internal corporate governance mechanism such as the presence of the independent commissaries and international ownership and company characteristic like leverage and profitability significantly influence tax aggressiveness. And then a graphic of average profitability 2019 to 2024 period. The probability graph show that out of 9 companies, only 5 record positive profitability, while the other 4 post average loss over the past 5 years. Passenger line transportation companies tend to perform more stably and profitably compared to airline companies. The loss sustained by airline companies reflect the challenge faced by the aviation sector, particularly during the pandemic. PT AirAsia or CMPMP had the highest negative average profitability over the past 5 years, likely due to a very low revenue, substantial losses, and ineffective asset management. And then graphic number 3 is average firm size. 2019 to 2024 period. PT Garuda Indonesia has the highest size value in 32.3 and 3, indicating the largest total asset among the companies analyzed. On the other hand, PT Eka Sarilorena Transport Tbk or LRNA has the lowest average company in 26.2 and 1, suggesting a relatively smaller operation scale corporate other companies in the sector. And then this is for formula of the problem. Research objective. Number 1, to identify the overview of tax policy, profitability, firm size, and capital structure in transportation sector companies within the passenger line transportation and analyze industry list on the Indonesia Stock Exchange during the 2019 to 2024 period. Number 2 is to determine the effect of tax policy on the capital structure in the transportation sector companies within the passenger line transportation and airline industry list on the Indonesia Stock Exchange during the 2019 to 2024 period. Number 3 is to determine the effect of profitability on capital structure in transportation sector companies within the passenger line transportation and airlines industry list on Indonesia Stock Exchange during the 2019 to 2024 period. Number 4 is to determine the effect of firm size on capital structure in transportation sector in companies within the passenger lines transportation and airlines industry list on Indonesia Stock Exchange during the 2019 and 2024 period. Number 5, to determine the effect of tax policy, profitability, and firm size simultaneously on capital structure in transportation sector companies within the passenger lines transportation and airlines industry list on the Indonesia Stock Exchange during the 2019 to 2024 period. Chapter 2 is literature review theoretical. Number 1 is framework. Grand theory is management. Middle theory is financial management. Financial statement, and then tax policy, profitability, and company size. And then signaling theory, capital structure. Number 2 is research paradigm. Topic number 3 is research methodology. Research method. The research method used is a quantitative research method with a descriptive and verificative approach. The population in this study consists of 150 financial report from companies listed on the Indonesia Stock Exchange in the transportation sector, specifically with the passenger line and airline industry during the 2019 to 2024 period. The sample used in this study was selected using the sample used in the study was using a non-probability probability sampling approaching within the purposive sampling method. And then data testing. Number 1 is classical assumption test. Number 2 is multiple linear regression coefficient. Number 3 is multiple correlation coefficient. Number 4 is coefficient of determination. And then hypothesis testing. Testing number 1 is partial test. The t-test aims the examine the extent to which a single independent variable partly affect the dependent variable, while assuming the other independent variable remain constant. And then number 2 is simultaneous test. An F-test is used to assess the significance of the effect of multiple independent variable on the dependent variable. The F-test determines whether the combined effect is statistically significant or not. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope this presentation has provided you with a valuable insight. I will come to question or once again, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is my voice is clear because it's raining?
Clear.
Clear? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay, we move to the Q&A. Siti, are you ready? I will read the questions.
Ready, Miss.
Okay, I will read it. The questions is about why does this study focus on the transportation sector, particularly the passenger line and airline industry, list on the IDX during the 2020 until 2024 period?
Okay, thank you.
Focus on the transportation sector. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you for a question. The answer is the study focused on the transportation sector, particularly the passenger line and airlines industries, because this sector plays a vital role in supporting national economic activities and has experienced significant dynamic over the past 5 years. The COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 caused a sharp contraction, especially in the airline industry, which is saw an 80% drop in passenger. Although recovery occurred during 2022 until 2024, many companies still face suboptimal capital structure, replaced in high or even negative debt-to-equity ratio, as well as fluctuating profitability. This research aims to understand factors such as tax policy, profitability, and firm size that influence capital structure in capital-intensive and regulation-sensitive sector. That's
Okay, such a good research. This is really a good and relevant topic, yeah, because I see the how tax policy and profitability and company is affect capital structure. Maybe the focusing on transportation and airline companies on IDX from 2018 or 19? 2018 or 19? City 19, yeah. From 2019 until 2024, it makes the study useful and timely. Yes, it's a good research. Thank you, Siti. Okay, everyone. Let's continue our presentation. It's from, wait a second. Oh, it's the last presenter for today, yeah? The last presenter, I guess. Okay, it's from Rizky Firmansyah. The research it's about designing an educational board game about the beauty of temple on Java Island for children aged 10 until 15 years in Bandung City. Are you ready? Okay, please go ahead, operator.
Hello, my name is Rizky Firmansyah from Faculty of Communication and Design from University Informatics and Business Indonesia or UNIBI. I will make a presentation about designing an educational board game about the beauty of temple on Java Island for children aged 10 until 15 years in Bandung City. Introduction. Children tend to be less interested in history itself in a conventional manner. However, it's important to introduce culture from an early age in order to foster a love for national heritage and set historical awareness from the outset. Therefore, game boards are designed as a fun and interactive educational medium to make learning history more interesting. The use of board game in learning has a positive impact on children's motivation to learn based on a study of the use of the cash flow poly board game at SMPN 1 Sidoarjo. It has been proven that board game can improve student understanding of material that was previously considered difficult. such as financial literacy, as quoted by Compassion on November 15, 2025. In relation to this issue, educational media needs to be present in a way that attracts the attention of children aged 10 to 15 years old. An educational approach that is more suited to the characteristic of children is needed. One of which is through board game that highlight the beauty of temple on the island of Java. Literature review. Board game, according to Rati and Nisi 2017, board game are means or tool used in teaching and learning activities to help students focus and actively engage in the learning process. Illustration. Illustration according to Susanto 2017, Algia Journal of Fine Arts Education is a visual art used to communicate certain idea or message. Color. According to Sulasmi and Mulyana et al. 2017, color is an important element in art that produces visual beauty and allow us to distinguish between different forms of an object. The colors that appear are also very varied. Temple are sacred buildings that have high artistic and historical value. Temples built during the Hindu-Buddhist kingdom era are one of Indonesia's cultural treasure in the form of architectural art. Yatno 2022. Method. Research method. Qualitative research is a research approach that focuses on gaining a deep understanding of a phenomenon as it is, emphasizing description, interpretation, and exploration of the subjective meaning content within it. Sugiarto 2016. Data collection technique. Primary data was obtained through interview, direct observation, and questionnaires. Meanwhile, secondary data was collected from various sources, including literature review, books, and official documents, mass media, print and electronic, documentation, and reliable online sources. Result and discussion. The design of this media presentation aimed to convey material about the 7 beautiful temples on the island of Java to introduce history to children aged 10 to 15 years in appropriate and effective manner as an alternative to learning at school. Creative process. Pre-production. A. Research and content at the stage I determine the main purpose of the media as an educational tool to introduce the beauty and historical value of temple on the island of Java children aged 10 until 15 years. Next, I conduct research on material related to the history, architecture, and cultural value of various temples. From the result of the research, I select several temples that will consider most relevant and interesting to be featured as the main content in this board game. B. Reference. Collecting relevant reference for the media I will create. In addition to media reference, I also collect visual style reference and color palette reference. Production. A. Making asset. At this stage, the main focus is on developing the visual appearance of all game elements to suit the characteristic of the target audience, namely children at 10 until 15 years. The process begins with designing the game board as the central element, featuring a visual map for game, paired with illustrative elements them around temple on the island of Java. In addition to the main board, other elements such as question card, mission card, and dice are also designed to be visually and functionally integrated. The design is created using professional graphic design software like Adobe Illustrator with a pixel art style. B. Mock-up. At this stage, I create mock-up of the asset that have been created to help me visualize how this work would look when printed as a physical object. C. Print. After all the design were finished, I turned them into physical creations so that children could play with them. Conclusion. The design of educational media in the form of a board game with the theme of the beauty of temple on the island of Java aims to introduce historical and cultural value to children at 10 until 15 in a fun and interactive way based on research result visual design, content development, and testing. This media has proven to be a more interesting learning alternative than conventional methods. The board game not only provide a playful experience but also encourage children to explore information about the history and unique architecture of temple on the island of Java. The use of child-friendly illustration, simple game mechanic, and educational content that is light yet informative are the key strengths of this medium. As such, this medium is expected to serve as a relevant educational solution in a digital age while contributing to cultural preservation efforts through an approach aligned with the characteristics and interests of the younger generation. This is my reference, and thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rizky ya. Rizky, it's your personal project, right?
Right.
Okay, nice project. It's a really, really interesting project. Okay, we have questions. Let's move to the Q&A, Rizky. You can write it down.
Yeah.
Okay. If the children's only learn about temples from textbook, they really often get bored really quickly, according to your research. Yeah. How can the board game like that can make learning more interesting? Yeah, please, Rizky.
Okay. Thank you for the question. I will answer the question. Board game provide meaningful interaction, fun challenge, and a sense of playfulness that encourage children to engage more actively in the learning process. Through this element, children can experience learning as an enjoyable activity where they discover new knowledge and practice problem-solving skill rather than simply memorizing information in a passive way. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rizky. It's really creative and meaningful project for me. I have a son that he went to elementary school,
Yeah.
and maybe he can also join that board game that you that that's really interesting, and I
Yeah.
really like your framework.
Yeah.
It's
Thank you.
so meaningful project, yeah.
Yeah.
As using a board game to introduce the beauty of Japanese temples, maybe you can make another heritage of Indonesia, Rizky, yeah.
Yeah. Thank
It's
you.
really that can make introducing for our culture in Indonesia, Rizky. It's
Yeah.
a brilliant project.
Maybe.
Um, yeah, it's really can making more engaging and enjoyable for children, especially for 10 until 15
Yeah.
until junior high school maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
elementary school to junior high school. It's great. It's really great way to combine the education with such a fun game.
Yeah.
Maybe it's also preserving cultural heritage too. It's really fascinating, I guess. Thank you,
Thank you.
Rizky, for that
Thank you.
wonderful project. Maybe I'm waiting for the board game. You can sell it maybe one day, Rizky.
Maybe next year, maybe.
Okay, it's a
Okay. Thank
great
you.
presentation, Rizky. Thank you very much. And let me see. Oh, yeah, Rizky, it's the last presenter for today. Yeah, maybe the participant wants to have a question, but unfortunately our time is limited. So some of the unanswered question will be addressed by the speaker, maybe via WhatsApp. chat group or something after this session, yeah, for the participant. So on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank you for all speaker and participant for your valuable contribution today's session. We look afterward to your active participation in the upcoming session. It's a really great presentation. It's really great research, yeah. And I also enjoy your presentation and your research. It's kindly really different subject because I read it first. It's about hexagon theory for the fraud, and it's about cycle work environment and workload. It's about tax policy, profitability on transportation industry companies. It's about designing educational board game. It's quite really wonderful research, I guess. And I hope you can get new insightful for your works, maybe for your life too. And I really enjoy it. Thank you so much, presenter. Before I close this parallel season, maybe we can take a picture first. Yeah. Okay, Miss Cahya, can you help us? Aku harus cantik nih. Miss Cahya, are you ready? Siap-siap ya katanya. 3, 2, 1. Okay, lagi dong. One more time. Miss Cahya. More cheerful dong. Yang happy gitu. Yang happy. Nah, yang happy. Dan Miss Cahya. Wait. Miss Cahya not answer my question. Miss Cahya, it's done. Done, Bu, katanya gitu. Okay, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your wonderful research. And thank you for the contribution for the research. Okay, I'm sorry if my voice is not clearly enough for guided you this parallel session. Okay, see you next year, maybe next month. Thank you so much, operator Miss Cahya. Thank you so much, participator Rizal. Thank you so much, Rizal, for coming in parallel session. Sayonara. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dadah.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.